What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crowded Lake. Today we are reading Sickly Sides, a Wattpad story by the Antisocial Ghost. Their links will be in the description below. Logan gets sick and absolutely hates it. Patton does his best to take care of him, and Remus refuses to let him get out of resting. Soon, though, the illness spreads, causing other sides to need taking care of. Chapter 1. Patton. I scoop a spoonful of eggs onto a plate and pass it to Logan. I pause when I see his appearance. He's paler than Virgil, even with his foundation, and the bags under Logan's eyes could give Virgil's eyeshadow a run for its money. You okay, kiddo? He nods as he takes his plate. He attempts to stifle a cough. I frown as he pours his coffee. Logan? I try to say again gently. You sure you're alright? You're not looking too good. My health is less than ideal today, he answers as he pulls a tissue from his pocket. Oh, Lo, why didn't you say you were sick? I would have brought breakfast up to you. I place a hand on his shoulder, but he pulls away. Go back up to bed. You need rest. He shakes his head. That is not necessary. He sits down at the table. Logan, you need to take care of yourself, I remind him. I assure you I am taking the necessary precautions, but I may have obligations to attend to today. Morning, Virgil says as he stumbles into the room, Roman close behind him. Morning, kiddos, I wave to them before turning back to Logan. Please, Lo, you could put your work off for one day. He shakes his head again. I can't work tomorrow. Remus is coming over, so I cannot afford to skip today. If you're still sick tomorrow, then Remus shouldn't come over. You'll get him sick. You're probably right. I'll call him, but I still need to get some work done, Logan says with a sigh. Do you want me to call Remus for you? I offer. That won't be necessary. I am perfectly capable of calling him myself. He coughs. Why don't I take his empty plate? You go lay down, and let me make the call, okay? He sighs. All right, I advise you against calling Remus. He takes his coffee with him and heads upstairs. Logan sick? That's rare, Virgil comments. Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a cold, I say. I'm gonna go up and check on his temperature in a minute, after calling Remus, of course. I pull out my phone from my pocket. As it rings, I tap my foot. Hello, Remus shouts as he picks up the phone. I pull the phone away from my ear. Patton, is something wrong? I pull the phone back to my face. Hey, Remus. I just wanted to let you know that Logan's sick, so you can't come over tomorrow. A pause. Then, Logan's sick? Is he gonna be okay? I'll bring him soup. Oh, that's okay. I've got it handled. He's gonna be fine. I just wanted to let you know in advance that your plans were canceled. I'm coming over, Remus says, as he hadn't heard me. Dee, I hear him yell. I'm going over to see Logan. You want to come? What? I hear Deceit say distantly. No, don't come over, I say exasperatedly. We'll be there in a few minutes. He hangs up. I sigh. I guess Dee and Remus are coming over. Virgil laughs. I could have told you Remus wouldn't have listened. The very mention of anything happening to Logan sets him off. It's true. Remember the day when I bumped into him and Remus Remus almost cut off my head? Remus says. Yeah, I laugh. You're right. I should have realized. It's okay, Pat. What's the worst that could happen while they're here? Virgil says. I guess nothing really, except that Remus gets sick, and I get to see Dee, so that's good. Trust me, Remus's immune system is really strong, Virgil assures me. I laugh. Probably. I remember what I was doing then. Oh, I'm gonna take Logan's temperature. I head upstairs, stopping in the bathroom to grab the thermometer. I'm confused to find Logan's door locked. I knock softly. Logan? I am rather busy, Patton. Is there something you need? You're supposed to be in bed. I came to take your temperature and to tell you that Remus is coming over today. What? He flings the door open as he clears his throat. I may have misheard you. Could you repeat? When I called Remus, he insisted on coming over when I told him you were sick. He shakes his head. Why didn't you tell him not to? I did. He didn't listen. I think he's bringing you soup. Logan pinches the bridge of his nose beneath his glasses. Remus can't make soup. Oh no. He nods. This is why I didn't want you to call him. If we'd called him later, this would not have been an issue. Sorry, Lo, I didn't know. It's fine, he says. I still need to take your temperature, and you need to get to bed. I could take my own temperature, he says, failing to a stifled cough. Okay then, Mr. Grumpy. I wave the thermometer at him. But you still need to go to bed, he sighs. I'm working. Well, it looks like you're working from bed today, kiddo, I tell him seriously. He glares at me for a moment. Fine. He heads over to his desk, grabbing his laptop and plugging it in next to his bed. He lays down on top of the covers. I roll my eyes at his behavior, heading over and attempting to take his temperature. He wipes the thermometer from my hands. I'll take care of that. Thank you. He places it under his tongue. All right, Lo. The thermometer beeps and I reach for it, but he yanks it out of his mouth and checks it before I can. He passes it back to me with a huff. I check the number, 100.5. Looks like you're going to be in bed for a while. He rolls his eyes. I could really do without the attitude, Lo. He huffs again. I could really do without the neutralizing attitude toward me. I sigh. Get some rest. I head toward the door, nearly bumping into Remus. Loki! He yells. I decide that I should probably give them some space. I close the door and go my way out. Chapter 2. Logan. As soon as Patton closes the door, I sit up, ignoring the ache in my body. Remus says, heading over. You better lay your ass back down, baby. I roll my eyes. Hello, Remus. Hey, baby. He kisses me on the forehead. Gosh, you're warm. Setting the thermos on my bedside table, he says, Lay back down now. I can't. I have work to do, I say, reaching for my computer. He grabs my hand, pulling it away and pushing it to my chest to get me to lay back down. Work can wait. Right now, you need to relax. I groan. Not you, too. I merely have a cold. Please, just let me go back to work. He shakes his head. No can do. You're gonna take the day off. He grabs my laptop and carries it off to my desk. Remus! I grind out, sitting up once again. I need to get some work done. What's so important, I'm working on a schedule. Thomas has some important events coming up. Oh yeah, when's this? In a few weeks, I say. You have plenty of time and you deserve a break. Now, lay down. I glare at him. Oh no, don't look so sour, baby. I'll lay down with you. Does that make you feel better? You want some soup? It does not. I don't need to be treated like an infant. I can go back to work, and I don't want any soup. He sighs. You're not gonna let up, are you? Not until everyone stops treating me like I can't take care of myself, I growl. You can take care of yourself. We just want to make sure that we could take care of you when you're feeling yucky. He strokes my hair and lays me back onto the bed. If you let you read, if you promise to take it easy, he whispers as he kisses my cheek. I can feel my body giving in to the comfort of his touch. I suppose that is acceptable. I do have some books I've been meaning to read. He smiles. There we go. He heads over to the bookshelf. Which one do you want? Topmost shelf, middle right, marine biology. I answer automatically. Had you on it for a while? He asked, popping his eye out to emphasize his words. I nod, ignoring his theatrics. I just haven't found the time. He hums and grabs the book. That's the wrong one. I stand up to grab the book I'd mentioned, but my legs give out after a couple steps. Oh, baby, come here. He scoops me up off the floor and slowly lays me down back on the bed, sitting down on the edge. Do you feel dizzy? I shake my head, but that makes me feel even more nauseous, so I stop. Don't lie to me, baby. Do you need anything? No. I hate how weak my voice sounds. All right, don't get up again, okay? Please. He says in a tone I can't place. I nod, stopping almost immediately. He runs his fingers through my hair, occasionally placing kisses on the temples of my hands. A wave of nausea passes. I attempt to sit up again. Remus, of course, stops me. What is it, baby? What do you need? You said I could read, I croak. Why don't you let me read to you? He asks. Would that be okay? I suppose that'd be sufficient, I say hesitantly. Thank you, baby. He kisses me again before going to grab the book. This one? Yes, I nod. As he lays back down on my bed, I ask him to remove his shoes and place them by the door. He laughs. I'll be organized this once, but only because you're sick. I nod. Fair enough. How about we use the blankets? He tugs on the comforter. Are you cold? I ask with a cough. No, he shakes his head. But you're shivering. I hadn't even noticed that until he said it. I can feel shame bubbling up in my stomach. I hate how weak I seem. I hate having to be treated like a child. He pulls the comforter over from under me, draping it over me gently. Are you going to pout every time I try to take care of you? He asks as he slips beneath the covers. I'm not pouting. I simply do not enjoy being restricted to my bed and not being allowed to do anything, I retort. Don't be like that, baby. He strokes my hair. I just want to help you feel better. That nickname is not helping, I grumble. I thought you liked it when I called you that, he pouts. Are you really that mad at me? I sigh. I'm not angry with you. I just feel as though I'm not doing anything productive. I hate wasting so much time. Oh, Loki. He wraps his arms around me. You're not wasting time. Not everything you do needs to be productive. You're allowed to take time for yourself. I know, but I still feel guilty for not doing anything to help Thomas, and for taking up another side's time. Ah, babe! He stops. Logan, you're always so helpful. You deserve a break. And I'm never contributing anyway. You contribute. You're a part of Thomas. You're needed. Thank you, Loki. He kisses my cheek. But that's not the point. The point is that I can afford to take care of you. There's nothing else I'd rather do. Thank you, Remus. I appreciate it, but it's hard for me to accept this. I explain. It's been my way of thinking for so long. When is that when you're telling me I'm being a little silly? Cognitive distortions? He laughs. I roll my eyes at the inappropriate words. Cognitive distortions. I realize what he's talking about. Oh, I suppose you're right. He nods. Yeah, I know. Now, why don't you just relax and let me read to you? I sigh. All right. He wraps an arm around me and props up the book on his knee. His voice goes softer than normal as he reads. Chapter 3. Patton. Downstairs, Dee is waiting for me on the couch with Virgil and Roman. Hey, Dee, I say, skipping over. Hello, darling. He stands up and wraps his arms around me. I melt into the embrace. I missed you, I say with a kiss. I didn't miss you, he says as he pulls me onto the couch with him. You guys literally saw each other 2 days ago, Virgil says with an eye roll. Hush, my love. You see me every day. They don't get that luxury. He snorts. Luxury? You're so clingy I'd kill to have 5 minutes alone time. He jokes. Oh, is that so? Roman stands up and releases Virgil. He moves to the other side of the couch. Hey, no, come back. Virgil stands up and sits himself next to Roman's lap. Roman chuckles. Who's clingy now? Still you, the anxious trait says. Roman gasps. You are going to get it. You'll have to catch me first. He stands up and runs upstairs, Roman following behind him. I'm glad Virgil's happy, Dee says after they leave. Me too, I say as I nuzzle into him. He hums as he reaches up to stroke my hair. How's your day been? Rough. Logan's been moody. He hates being sick, I say with a sigh. Most people do, he says as he settles back onto the couch, my head on his chest. But he really hates it. He snapped at me. He never snaps at me, I say, failing to hide the hurt in my voice. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I'm sure he didn't mean it. He kisses my temple. Yeah, he's just angry, I mumble into his shoulder. I hope he doesn't get Remus sick. Remus's immune system is stronger than most. He spends so much time in germ-filled states. Dee reassures me. Yeah, but still, I should really be taking care of him myself, I say, beginning to feel drowsy. Then you might get sick, he points out. Still, I'm usually the caretaker. I feel bad when I'm not able to help him. I yawn. He made it difficult. Besides, don't you think you should take some time off from caring about everyone? He keeps stroking my hair. No, it's my job, I mumble sleepily. Says who? That's the last thing I heard before I drift off to sleep. Seat. I smile as I feel Patton slump against me. I'd wish he'd get more sleep. He's always tired. He falls asleep on me a lot. I contemplate taking us up to his room, but he'd probably wake up, so I just grab a blanket off the back of the couch and drape it over us. Virgil. I ran upstairs to attempt to close my bedroom door before Roman reaches it. I'm not that fast, though. He pushes my door open as not even trying to keep it closed. Nowhere left to hide, he says as he picks me up and tosses me over his shoulder. Roman, put me down! I shriek as he carries me out the door. You brought this on yourself, my chemically imbalanced romance, he says as he opens the door to his room. He tosses me onto the bed, and then shuts and locks the door with the snap of lock disappears. He comes back over and sits on my legs. I look at him in confusion. Then he starts tickling my stomach. I attempt to fend off the attack, but he grabs both of my hands when I step on his own. Stop, Princely, I wheeze out between giggles. Not until you admit you're clingy, he says with an evil grin. Never, I gasp. Then I guess I won't stop. He reaches under my armpits and scribbles almost violently. I laugh so hard I snort. Roman stops abruptly. Aw, that's so cute. I'm not cute, I say between breaths. Oh yeah? He starts moving his fingers again. I snort again. You see that? That's adorable. He leans down and kisses my nose. What? Never. You still haven't admitted you're clingy? He keeps tickling me. And I never will, I say. Princey, stop. I have to pee, I say between laughs. Admit you're clingy and I'll let you go, he chuckles. Oh, no. I can feel tears falling down my cheeks. Then I guess you're gonna have to wash the sheets later, he says with a laugh, never once letting up. Okay, stop. I can't breathe. He stops. You ready to admit it yet? Fine. I take a few more deep breaths as the off giggles die down. I might be a little clingy. A little? He holds up his hands threateningly. Okay, a lot, I say hurriedly. Thank you for being honest. He kisses my cheek. Do you still need to go to the bathroom? I shake my head. No. Good. He lays back down next to me and pulls me into his chest. Because maybe I'm a little clingy. I laugh. I am not complaining. Chapter 4. Remus. I smile as Logan's face relaxes again. He fell asleep a little while ago, and I'm having difficulty staying still. He's asleep on my arm, and every time I shift, he makes a noise of discomfort. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. I start to play this game I downloaded where you pop pimples on some digital characters' faces. Logan starts to groan and I shift. He wraps his arm around my stomach. I know. Logie? I whisper softly. Is everything okay? He continues to shift. I think he's still asleep. That is, until he opens his eyes. Oh no. He hisses out before he stands up and stumbles to the bathroom. I rush in after him, just in time to catch him rejecting into the toilet. He continues to heave, his stomach's contents, and for the next several minutes. He trembles when he stops. His breathing is coming out in ragged gasps. I head over and brush his sweaty hair out of his eyes. You think you're done? I asked him softly. He nods. Nothing left. He croaks out. Okay. I pull out a washcloth off of the shelf and get it wet. You're gonna want to wipe your mouth. He nods. His hand shakes as he reaches for it. He roughly drags it across his mouth, throwing it into the hamper when he's done. He flushes the toilet. You want to get back into bed now? He nods and attempts to stand up. His legs are too shaky for me to trust that he is able to walk. Come here. I scoop him up slowly. I'm sorry, he says in a scratchy whisper as I carry him back to his bed. I look at his face in confusion. For what? You didn't do anything wrong. He shakes his head. I did that. He gestures feebly toward the bathroom. That wasn't your fault, baby. I wait for the backlash at the nickname, but he doesn't even react. You didn't do that on purpose. You're sick, and I'm not bothered by it. He nods as I place him back beneath the sheets. I go back to the bathroom and grab the trash can, placing it gently beside the bedside. I head toward the door. I'm gonna go get something for you to drink, okay? He nods, his eyelids half closed. When I get down to the living room, I see Deceit has Patton curled up in his lap. How's Logan? He says quietly, as not to wake Patton. He just threw up. I'm gonna get him something to drink, I reply, heading to the kitchen. You're doing okay with him? Deceit asks. You're taking care of him? Yeah, he struggled a bit at first, but he's too tired to fight me right now. Deceit nods and goes back to playing with Patton's hair. In the kitchen, I fill up a glass of water and grab a can of Sprite from the fridge. I head back upstairs when I come back to Logan crying. What's wrong? Are you okay? I rush over to him. He tries to answer, but he can't speak through the sobs that keep tearing its way through his already raw throat. His breathing starts to become shallow. Hey. I pull him to my chest. It's gonna be okay. He keeps crying, but latches on to me rather tightly. Breathe, baby. It's gonna be alright. I sit down on the edge of the bed, swiftly transferring Logan from the bed to my lap. He continues to cry, his face buried in my shoulder, and his arms latched around my waist. I start to rub my hand up and down his back. I don't know what else to do. Logan's never cried in front of me before. After a few minutes of sobbing, it died down. He looks up at my face, his cheeks tinted pink. Apologies. He readjusts his tie. I don't know what came over me. I kiss his forehead, which is still burning up. What had you so upset? He shakes his head. It was illogical. Don't do that, baby. I can still call you that. He nods. Tell me what upset you, please. He takes another breath. I feel really... He pauses. I assume he's searching for a word. Pathetic. You just witnessed me helplessly expel my previous meal, and you've seen me all day fall and shiver, and he pauses and takes another deep breath. Now you see me cry. I pull him tighter against me. You're not pathetic, baby. You're sick. Everybody gets sick. Your body's fighting something. It can't do everything at once, and that frustrates you. And sometimes, when emotions get too much for your body, it needs to get rid of them through tears. You're crying out of frustration, right? He nods. That's an accurate statement. See? It's perfectly normal. Don't feel bad about that. I reach for the water. You want to rinse your mouth? He nods again. Please. Chapter 5. Patton. I woke up confused. It takes me a moment to remember what happened. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. I turn my head to look up at Dee. Sorry, I didn't mean to fall asleep. And I definitely didn't try to make you comfortable enough to get some rest. Dee, I told you to stop doing that. I rubbed my eyes. And I definitely haven't told you to get more sleep. I groan. I'm getting enough sleep. Of course you are. He rolls his eyes. That's why you fall asleep the minute you get too comfortable. I glare at him. There's no need to pop an attitude. He pulls me against him tightly. I'm sorry, Patton. I'm definitely not worried about you at all. You have nothing to worry about. I'm fine. He looks at me doubtfully. I believe you. I stare at him, unsure if he's lying or not. I pull out my phone and check the time. noon. Oh, I should go check on Logan. I stand up. Remus has him all taken care of, Patton. I don't think there's anything more he could do. I'm just gonna go check on them. I head upstairs. I knock on Logan's door softly. A few seconds later, Remus opens the door. What is it? He asks, hand on his hip. I just want to check on Logan. Is he doing any better? He's asleep. He threw up, but I think he's okay now. He threw up? Oh, geez. Did he make it to the bathroom? Yeah, I've got it handled. He's resting now. You got him to sleep? I asked, surprised. Yeah, he calmed down after he realized his well-being wasn't up for debate. Oh, good. Do you need anything? I'm kinda hungry, he says. Logan uses spray deodorant, so that's out. Is there anything I could eat? I'm afraid to leave him alone. Yeah, I can make you some lunch, I say, happy to have something useful to do. Any requests? He's quiet for a moment. I'll eat anything. Thanks, though. It's no problem. I beam at him before heading back downstairs. Are they all right? Dee asks as I come outside. Yeah, but I'm gonna go make them some lunch, I answer. Do you want anything to eat? I'm gonna make some soup for Logan and a sandwich for Remus. How about I help? He asks. That's okay, Dee, I've got it. I head into the kitchen. I feel arms around my waist. I know you do, but I would like to help anyway. He kisses the back of my neck. Oh, okay, I whisper. Thank you. He hums into my shoulder. Virgil. Roman and I are watching a movie in his room. His stomach grumbles loudly. Are you hungry? I asked. Yeah, you want to go get some food? He sits up. Yeah, I guess. I sit up. We head downstairs. When we reach the kitchen, we find it already occupied by Deceit and Patton. Hey, kiddos, Patton calls. You guys want a sandwich? Yeah, Roman answers. Here, I'll make you some. He starts pulling out bread. I was making one for Remus anyway. Oh, no, that's okay, Pat. I've got it. I try to take the bread from him. No, I can do it. He reaches for the mayonnaise. Pat, really, let me. Roman reaches over. He pulls away. Just let me do this, please? The desperation in his voice shocks me. Oh, okay, Pat. Thank you. His smile returns bright as ever. No problem, kiddo. I turn to Roman to see if he had noticed. From the look he gives me, I'll say that he did. Virgil, could you come over and help me for a second? Deceit says, catching my attention. Yeah, sure. I head over to his place at the cabinet. Patton's feeling a little unneeded at the moment, he whispers to me. What? I ask. We couldn't survive without Patton. I don't know, but he's feeling a little insecure right now. Just show him a little extra appreciation today, okay? I nod, then head back over to where Roman is waiting. Patton passes me a finished sandwich. I take a bite. You always make the best sandwiches, Popstar, I say before taking another bite. You spread the mayonnaise perfectly in proportion to the pickles as well. I start to worry I might be overdoing it. "Aw, thanks, kiddo. I'm glad you like it." His smile grows wide as he finishes Roman's sandwich. He offers it to Roman. "Thanks, Pat." He takes a real big bite. "Best sandwich I have ever had," he says with a mouthful. Patton grins at us. "What you two up to?" "We're just watching some movies," Roman says, offhandedly. "We could watch it down here if you want to watch it with us," I say. "Oh, yeah. I know Logan and Remus are busy, but we could all hang out," Roman says excitedly. "That sounds like a horrible idea," Deceit says. "Yeah," Patton says enthusiastically. "I just love a chance to break out my favorite outfit," he shouts, snapping back into his onesie. "Great," I say with a smile. We all curl up on the couch and start watching Tangled. Chapter 6. Logan. I wake up to Remus gently shaking me. "Hey," he says gently. "You hungry?" He holds up a bowl. I shrug, reaching for my glasses. "Not..." I'm interrupted by a coughing fit. "Really, but I should probably eat something." Remus nods. "Yeah." He helps me arrange the pillow so I could sit up. I glance at the bowl worriedly. "Is that the soup you made?" I asked. My throat feels like an open wound. He shakes his head. "Patton brought it up for you." I exhale in relief. Patton makes exquisite soup. "There's no need to look so relieved," he laughs. "Apologies," I say. "You're just not as skilled in the kitchen as Patton is." "I know. He brought me up this amazing sandwich earlier." He passes me the soup. Steam curls up, misting my glasses. I wish my nose wasn't so clogged so I could smell it. Remus spins around in the desk chair while I eat. "You're gonna make yourself sick," I inform him. He stops. "Can't do that. Who'd take care of you then?" I shake my head at him, before returning my attention to the bowl of soup in my lap. He stumbles back onto the edge of the bed and runs his hand up and down my calf. "Are you feeling any better, baby?" I nod. "A little." He looks at me skeptically. The way my voice sounds probably makes it seem like I'm a liar. "The way my throat feels isn't great," I admit, "but I still feel better than I did." "Good." He continues to run his hand up and down my calf. I start to feel full. I place the bowl on my nightstand, still half full. Remus examines the bowl. "Is that all you're gonna eat?" "I'm not hungry," I dismissively said. "I might eat something later." He nods. "Okay." I swing my feet off the bed. "Hey, whoa!" Remus rushes over to stop me. "What are you doing?" "I have to use the restroom," I reply. "Okay." He backs up a little. When I'm fully standing, he asks, "Do you feel dizzy?" I shake my head. "I think I'm all right." "Okay." I could feel his eyes on me the entire time I'm walking. When I leave the bathroom, he's still watching me. I watch him relax when I get back to bed. "Remus," I say, reaching for his hand. "I'm fine. There's no need to worry." He shakes his head. "What if you fall again?" I shake my head. "I'd be fine. We have carpeted floors. The chances of me getting seriously injured from a fall would be very slim." "I can't help but worry, Loki. I just don't want anything to happen to you." He leans over and kisses me on the forehead, resting his hands on my cheek. I lean into his hand, enjoying the warmth of his touch. "I love you." I open my eyes quickly. A smile forms on my face. Remus had never said that to me before. "I love you too," I say back to him. He gives me a wide grin. "I know you're going to give me a speech about spreading pathogens or whatever, but I can't help myself." He leans over and kisses me on the lips. I reach up and run my hand through his hair. He cups the back of my neck. We break away, gasping for air. "I love you." He giggles as he kisses my nose. I pull him fully onto the bed, wrapping my arms around him. "I love you," I whisper into his ear. Patton. When the movie is over, we start another one. I don't pay much attention to what they pick. I just snuggle closer to Dee, smiling at Virgil and Roman, who have moved to share the big blanket with us. It feels very nice being so close to them. I feel Dee's hand on my back, rubbing circles. I hum as I kiss his collarbone. He smiles down at me. The movie finally starts and I realize we're watching Brave. Roman gets up and comes back with a big bag of popcorn. I sit up to grab a handful. Don't you want any? I ask Dee. He shakes his head. I smile and lean back into him. My attention returns to the movie. This is just what I needed today. 7. Roman. Virgil and I get up and attempt to make dinner. It takes us a little while to convince Patton to let us. We kept insisting that he deserved a break after all he's done for us lately. It ended up with a big smile on his face as he thanked us and curled back up with Deceit. While we're in the kitchen, Virgil voices his concerns. Logan really hurt Patton's feelings this morning, and now he feels like he's useless and not wanted. I could tell something was up, I just didn't know what, I sigh. I hate that he thinks this. We really would be lost without him, and he just doesn't see that. Virgil nods. All we can do is make him feel loved and hope he realizes that he means so much to us. Yeah, I pause. Maybe burning dinner isn't the best way to do that, though. I rush over and stir the pasta. He laughs. Yeah. He pauses. It's good that Dee is here to help. He always makes Patton feel better. I chuckle. Yeah, I'm glad they're happy. Virgil comes up behind me while we stir the pasta. He wraps his arms around my waist and rests his head against my back. Are you not going to help? I ask teasingly. He groans. Just wait a minute. You're so warm. He tightens his hold on my waist. Are you cold? I asked. A little. He mumbles against my back. I start stirring to turn to wrap my arms around him. Come here. I pull him close, running my hand up the back of his shirt, rubbing small circles on his back. His skin feels icy. I frown. You really are cold. He hums in agreement, burying his face into my chest. We stay like that for a moment, he desperately trying to warm up his skin, and Virgil slowly relaxes into my touch. Suddenly, he pulls away and coughs into his elbow rather violently. Uh-oh, I say. What? He asks after he stopped coughing. Come here, let me feel your forehead. Why? He pulls away from my hand. V, I groan. Come here. No, everything's fine. I shake my head. You're sick, aren't you? He shrugs. I don't know, maybe. I sigh. Please let me take your temperature. He frowns, but comes back over to me. I place my palm against his forehead. He feels notably warm. I gently place my lips to his forehead. Feels like a fever. Can you go to lay down for a bit? I'll be up in a minute with the thermometer, and I'll bring up dinner. He shakes his head. I was supposed to help. He pouts slightly. If you're sick, you shouldn't be around the food. Please go lay down. For me? He huffs. Fine. He heads out of the kitchen. Virgil. I walk through the living room and up the stairs. Patton stops me on the way up. Where are you going, kiddo? He says, sitting up. Upstairs. Roman doesn't want me around the food. I mumble the last bit. Why? Patton asks, his voice laced with concern. I reach out for an excuse, but I can't find one. I have a small cough, that's all. I attempt to downplay it as much as possible. Aw, kiddo! He stands up, untangling himself from Deceit, and rushes over to me. He places his hand on my forehead. You do feel a bit warm. It's not a big deal, Pat. I'm heading up to bed. I take his hand from my forehead. He frowns. How about I get you a heated blanket? And I'll check your temperature with the thermometer. I realize that Patton's attempting to take care of me. I scream internally as I realize I'm gonna have to let him. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Popstar. He beams at me. Of course, Virgil. Now go lay down. I'll bring it up in a sec. I nod. I'm gonna lay down in Roman's room, okay? He nods. Okay. I resign myself to the fate and I head upstairs. Anything to make Patton happy. Chapter 8. Remus. Logan's fidgeting with his tie, loosening it, shaking his head, then tightening it again. We're laying on his bed, his head leaning against my side while I card my fingers through his hair. Why don't we take that off? I reach over to help him. He shakes his head. No, it's a part of my outfit. Without it, I'll look ridiculous. I frown. No, you won't, I say gently. And you'll probably feel more comfortable. He shakes his head again. I'm fine. I sit up and look him in the eye. How about we get our jammies on? I ask, inventively. He rolls his eyes. It is far too early for sleepwear. I cock my head to the side. Maybe, but you get a pass because you're sickly. He shakes his head again. I would rather wait. I sigh. Okay, Lo, how about I get you something to eat? It's almost dinner time. Already? It feels like we just had lunch. I nod. It's probably because you slept most of the day. He sighs. Yes, that would explain it. Hey. I press a soft kiss on his forehead. No more sour faces. We're in one of the happiest of places. He groans. No rhyming. Okay, but only for you. He rolls his eyes again. Aw, stop it. My grin grows wider. You know you love me. He blushes lightly. I am aware of that fact. I kiss him sweetly. Yeah, you are, baby. Patton. I head up to Roman's room, carrying blankets and a thermometer. I knock on the door softly. Hey, kiddo? Come in, Pat. Virgil calls back. I open the door. Virgil's lying on the bed, scrolling through his phone. Hey, Virg, I brought you some more blankets, I say, brandishing the bundle in my arms. Thanks, Pops. He sits up. Can I take your temp? I asked, waving the thermometer. Yeah, okay. He reaches for the thermometer when I come closer, but I push his hand away. I got it, kiddo. Lift your tongue. He does as I ask. We wait for the thermometer to beat. When it does, he lets me take it from his mouth. I look at the number. 99.1. Yep, you've got a fever. He sighs. Figures. I frown. It'll be okay, V. Maybe it won't last long. Logan doesn't seem to be doing so well with it, he mutters. I put my hand on my hip. Logan made things harder on himself. Virgil laughs, then goes really quiet. He didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Pat. He mumbles softly. I sigh. I know, I just can't help it. It's my job to take care of you guys. If you don't want me to do that, what am I even here for? Virgil stands up and wraps his arms around me. We love you, Pat. Not because you take care of us, but because you care about us, and we care about you. You're so nice and generous, and you're like my dad. I don't know what I'd do without you, Pat. And Logan's just too used to being productive. I'm sure when he's better, he'll feel bad and apologize for being rude to you. I'm tearing up a little. Thanks, kiddo. That helps a lot. He smiles at me. Good, because I mean all of it. I step back from him. You still have to get back into bed, I tell him sternly. He laughs. All right, Pat. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to continue reading the story for yourself or read along, or for next time, you could find the book in the description below. Please follow the artist. They are very amazing. And stay tuned next week for the thrilling conclusion. And, like always, do your best.